Before we dive into today's episode, I have something exciting to share with you. If you're a teacher, principal, or supportive parent looking to bring vibrant educational gardens to your school, I'm hosting a free webinar just for you. In this webinar, you'll learn step by step how to grow a thriving student-led school garden that's connected to your curriculum all during class time with no extra work outside of school hours for you teachers or parents. The webinar is available 3 times a day until February 20th, so it's easy to find a time that works for you. Head over to kidsgrowingcity.ca to register now and start growing with ease. All right, let's get into today's episode. Do you wish you had the funding to build a school garden? What if you got it? Did you really need it? And what now that you got it? I'm Leila Mireskandari, your host, and this is episode number 36 of the School Gardens with Ease podcast. Teachers think if only they had the approvals and the funding for their dream of a school garden project, it would all come true. Most think money and approvals are what's in their way. If only we had the budget, they say. But then, if the fairy comes along with her magic wand and suddenly money appeared, they would most likely waste it on unnecessary tools, expensive gardens, and flashy stuff because they think that's what they need. If only they were 10 wooden raised beds with an automatic watering system behind and an expensive permanent locked fence, they think. They have absolutely no clue where to start, what mistakes to avoid, and how to go about making it happen. Spend most of their time on trying to recruit help, organizing parent volunteers and student clubs, which at first is very exciting, but quickly comes with a lot of headaches, disappointments, and resentment. They eventually build an expensive, conventional, high maintenance garden, and somehow they get things planted in it, hopefully mostly outside the class time, unfortunately. Sometimes the students plant them, but worse is when parents actually even do the planting. There's not much student ownership, not a lot of learning happen. There's a lot of work for the parents, a lot of responsibilities on, and time sacrifice actually for the teachers. And it just becomes a tiring mess that no one wants to do again next year. Sorry to burst your bubble, but money spent on physical stuff is not going to give you an educational garden. You thought you can't have a school garden because there's no budget. But the reality is you can start a fantastic, impressive, and impactful food garden in your own classroom with very little money. So the lack of money or approvals were never real obstacles. You were brainwashed into thinking that or simply mistaken about it. If you want to grow an outdoor garden, because you don't have to, a classroom garden indoors could be more than enough impressive and impactful. But if you really do want to go outside, you might not even need money for raised beds, planters, or containers. I say might because it actually depends. If you have absolutely no grass area to turn into a garden and your entire school grounds is on concrete and asphalt, then you might need to think about planters. But usually that's not the case. Not only there are permaculture techniques of building regenerative gardens that you can use with your class during your class time to build gardens on top of the grass that need no big budget. I have actually podcast episodes on this topic too, by the way. But your students will thoroughly enjoy building those, learn a ton, and you need no parent volunteers to do it. Bulk soil and mulch will be the biggest expenses. So, yeah, I'm not saying $0, but that's about it. Yes, and also some inexpensive supplies like seeds. But you don't need a lot of money for the stuff. And you don't need approvals to manipulate land outside of your classroom, if you start indoors. And you don't need a lot of money even if you want to build an outdoor garden. Okay, you don't need it for the stuff. I think I said that already. I don't know. I feel like a broken record. apologize for that. What you do need is a teaching plan that connects your garden, indoors or outdoors, to your math, science, language arts, health, etc., to your curriculum, so that not only your students build and grow the garden thoroughly with a 100% hands-on experience, they learn the math and science and language and health behind growing their own food, and you teach your curriculum while they grow the garden. So if you receive the budget or funding to build a school garden, you should spend it on lesson plans. And I am not just saying that because I sell lesson plans, okay? I just spent so much time recording 3 complete free episodes, podcast episodes, walking you through how to write those lesson plans. Those are episodes 33, 34, and 35 of this podcast. Go check them out. If you don't want to get the lesson plans off of my hand, that's fine. Just don't underestimate the task and don't undervalue your time and energy and all those hours and hours of trial and error that you'll have to go through to make it happen. The Oasis lesson plans that I have are backed with over a decade of full-time experience growing school gardens. They're ready to use and come with the success guarantee. If you want to get, those done for you lessons off of me, then the link is in the, go check them out. I would be happy to help you with that. They are open till February 21st only. So if you caught this episode after that, make sure that you join the wait list for next year. They come with an investment. Yes, of course. But even if you follow my free advice and guides and write that teaching plan yourself, it still comes at a cost because your time has value. And it most probably will be a lot more costly than if you invested in a done for you program like mine. But I don't want this to turn into, a plug for my programs, okay? What I'm trying to say is the physical garden itself won't need a lot of resources, and you should direct your resources, money included, to the right thing, education. This is supposed to be in a school. It's an educational garden. And education needs a well-connected, cohesive teaching plan. And that's what everybody keeps forgetting. So my advice for you, if you got a budget to build a school garden, don't jump into purchasing wooden raised beds and big shovels and gloves and wheelbarrows, a shed, and install a permanent fence and all of that stuff. My goodness, you probably don't need none of that. Focus your resources to what matters at this point, and that's a teaching plan. Come grab my Oasis program, and I'll show you how to grow regenerative, amazing gardens without any of that stuff or expenses. I hope this resonates. Talk to you soon in the next episode. You've listened to the entire episode, and for that, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave me a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and please share this episode with other teachers who might be interested in this topic. See you next week for a new episode.